And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gem and the Crypto episode 497. Today is Wednesday, October 30th. Happy hump day. And today, of course, we are here to bring you the news. We're here to bridge the gap from community to crypto to community. I'm going all crazy today. I don't know, but the top stories are Russia is in the news. Government official expects to mine 20% of the world's Bitcoin. Samsung integrates Tron and mobile-compatible dApp building tools. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are not real money, says German parliament. We've heard this before. Chinese cryptocurrency mining giant files for $400 million IPO in the U.S. Crypto ranking website CoinGecko launches derivatives section. And last but not least, pay your friends to protect your keys. One startup's new take on crypto custody. Of course, before we get started, let me go ahead and pull up these prices. I didn't bring up the article count. Let me do that in a moment. But of course, not a lot of different price movement and swings, something we expected already as well, because as we said, it is still a lot of chop in the crypto market. We're still shaking out bad actors, and we're still trying to find price discovery as the market matures. What's going on? Just chilling. Will, Tony Nolly, everybody else as they load in. All right, here we go. Bitcoin today is at $9,078, down 2.74% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum's at $181.50, down 2.31%. Litecoin's at $57, down 3%. Ripple's at 29 cents, down 3%. And Bcash is at $285, down 0.86%. I don't have the price for it, but also EOS. You know, I saw the list that came out in China again, their top cryptocurrencies. And again, EOS and Tron were like number 1 and 2, while Bitcoin was number 11. And that's one of the things where, again, I know a lot of people love EOS. A lot of people love Tron as well. But I know a lot of people love EOS. You know, it's a multi-billion-dollar project right now. But it's also one of the things where it worries me. Again, China is not the end-all, be-all to any project. But whenever China has your project as number 1 and on the same list, Bitcoin's number 11, I don't know. I get worried. People. I don't know what to think about it. And that's what's going on with EOS when I saw it. So who knows? What's going on, Morph? Welcome to the show. All right, top story of the day, though. Russia's in the news. Government official expects to mine 20% of the world's Bitcoin. Now, this headline is a bit misleading because there is no way right now to possibly mine 20% of the world's Bitcoin, since for all all purposes has already been mined. Right, we're down to the last few million Bitcoins to be mined before we reach that 21 million mark here in the next 100 years or so. But so that's not going to happen. But I do give they say they're saying going forward. Of all the cryptocurrency that can be mined, they want to get 20% of it. And it looks like a Bitcoin mining company owned by Russia's internet ombudsman is planning to open a new facility and corner 20% of the international market. Local financial news outlet RBC reported on October 29th, Russian mining company plans to repurpose a metal factory in the country's northern province of Karelia. It's been closed due to U.S. sanctions in 2018. The ex-Rusal factory could soon host a Bitcoin mining farm so large it could account for 1/5 of global output. It's quoted as saying, our ideal consists of converting the factory and selling its computer power as a service, that is to say, offering IT services. So it almost sounds like they're trying to do a cloud-based mining scheme here. But it looks like they were steered, was Mary Chenev, I can't say the CEO, Dmitry Mereshchev, told RBC that is already steered RBC through a $43 million ICO initial coin offering in 2017, a sale that still remains Russia's largest. So it's pretty interesting to see this, that, Dmitry is planning to do this. And of course, he's not speaking for the Russian government. He's more or less speaking for the Russian people and what he plans to do. But this is something you want to be on the lookout for. I think in the last 3 or 4 days, I've seen about 4 to 5, 6 stories that all have to do with mining. Again, 3 is a trend. So if I see 4 or 5 stories and they all are around mining, either on a corporate or industrial level or on a government level, which is all the stories I've seen so far have been about, then to me, that's kind of, a heads up that something big is coming through in the mining industry. And I agree with it. Whether it's a company or a government as well, whoever decides to really establish I'm talking about industrial sized mining facility. We know Bitmain's doing some things like that with their mining pools and even some of their facilities. But whoever decides to really go in and, you talk about some of these stadiums and arenas around the world, how big they are, how much money has been put into that. When you see that put into a mining facility or a building, then that will be cause to worry for other countries, especially if Bitcoin becomes what's going to be backed, what's going to be our money or what's going to be used to back money in the future. So it's pretty cool to see that. I'm glad to see that mining is continuing to mature, that space is continuing to mature, and it's continuing to be competitive, looks like, as well. So we'll also go back to another mining facility here in a few moments. What's going on, Sergeant Crypto? PFC Wells is going on track. That was a hilarious tweet you sent back to us yesterday with that office being closed. Which do they have more influence over for EOS and Tron to be 1 and 2? Well, that's my thing. Because again, we're talking about China. If they're making moves, it's because of their own self-interest. So I'm not saying anything's wrong with EOS or Tron, even though we know Tron's a big market employee for the most part. I'm not saying anything's wrong with them. I'm just saying, what qualities do they have for them to be listed number 1 and 2 in China? If you remember, 2017, toward the end of it, after Ant shares turned to NEO, China adopted NEO and said NEO was the future. If you remember, I think NEO was like the top 3 or top 5 on the list. AmiSgo was as well. You remember AmiSgo opened up a McDonald's, and I can't remember exactly, but it was somewhere in, I think, Southeast Asia. They opened up a McDonald's. Or AmiSgo found their way toward the top of the Chinese list. So I'm not saying anything's wrong with the project when they go there, but to me, it's a red flag because it's like, all right, you're supposed to be a credible project, it's a good project, all this good stuff, and China wants you. But again, they're mentioning Bitcoin as number 11th on their list. And from a technical perspective, that is not true. There aren't 11 coins better than Bitcoin from a technical perspective, from a maturation process, or from a scaling process, since most of these coins haven't even had to do it yet. So again, whenever I see that, it's just a big red flag. That's right. Alec G said mining talk equals money. And we're going to get into that. That's really why all this mining talk has been coming about, is because that's the new game right now. All right, we can't buy exchanges. We saw what happened to Poloniex. It's a bust. We're buying bags. What's the next best thing to buy if you're an institutional investor with a lot of money? Mining facilities might be the key. So we'll be talking about this as well. Sergeant Crypto said Andreas Antonopoulos spoke about countries fighting over Bitcoin mining. You all and him are from the future. I actually haven't even seen Andreas Antonopoulos talk about that, so I'm going to check it out. But again, as I just said, this might be the new game. All right, we can't do ICOs. We can't buy exchanges because they're a bust. What can we do and still have a safe investment? And again, mining might be the place to go. SCC, what's going on? Thai City 87 said Tron is a Chinese money washing scheme. That's why the Tether cartel is switching to the Tron blockchain. Hilarious. Listen, I love the crypto warriors. You all say things I think sometime for sure. But before we do hop back around to that mining, let's go ahead and talk about Tron. We already just mentioned them. Samsung integrates Tron and mobile compatible dApp building tools. Looks like South Korean technology conglomerate Samsung has integrated Tron support to its decentralized app store, blockchain key store. According to a release published on October 29th to the Samsung developers website, Samsung's blockchain key store SDK version 1.2.0 now includes APIs that support TRX transactions. Again, one of the things about all this stuff we talk about, when you see all these cryptocurrency projects entering things like Samsung's blockchain stores and all that, it's because they have a CEO. Justin Sun, the CEO. It's much more difficult for Bitcoin and ancillary Bitcoin things to be implemented because there's nobody speaking for it. There's regular guys like myself, Bitcoin's Andreas Antonopoulos, and everybody else around the world trying to educate. But there's nobody that's just the CEO of Bitcoin that's going to get you into this phone or get you into this store. So this article even points it out in its headline. Justin Sun's social media ploy. Again, Samsung has revealed it is today announcing its Samsung blockchain platform SDK at the Samsung Developer Conference in 2019. The new SDK will reportedly tackle the twofold challenge of bolstering security and building mobile compatible dApps. Now, again, the Tron integration means that APIs for all tokens conforming to the TRC10 or 20 standards, as well as Tron-based dApps, are poised to become accessible to anyone with the blockchain key store among Samsung's near 1 billion global smartphone user base. Again, This is one of those things where this was man-made. There's a CEO behind it, and you have to be crazy if you don't think there's money for this in Samsung. If Justin Sun's Tron didn't sit down and say, hey, for every customer you bring on, for every body you on board, this is as much money as you get back from it. But there's definitely business to be made, which is why they're going to people like Tron, people who have marketing, people who have the ears and eyes of everyone out there in the crypto industry. Again, they're not doing this with Bitcoin, or as they even said, Ethereum, which is Tron's competitor. They're not pushing this as hard because they don't have people pushing as hard for it. So again, cool to see. This is still a base hit, whether it's Tron or wherever else out there. If you can get cryptocurrency on smartphones or APIs that link to different cryptocurrency websites or methods to move and use it, this is all good, because eventually people will learn more about this space and say, hey, there's not only Tron out there, there's a million others. And eventually they'll call Samsung and say, hey, why can't I have these other cryptocurrency APIs on my phone as well? But again, definitely don't want to be misguided. The article points out this is another social media ploy by Justin Sun. And I'm also calling it a social media ploy because, to be frank, cryptocurrency and smartphones, when it comes to some of these APIs, the stores, there's a reason why it's called the developer store. It's for, or their decentralized app store, but it's mostly for developers right now. Outside developers, there aren't a lot of normal people going to their phone to check out the decentralized app store or the blockchain key store. Not enough people know about it, right? So it's a cool feature to have. I'm glad they already have it. It should help with scaling when that day comes. But right now it's a social media deploy because no one's going to use it. By and large, no one's going to use it. No one's going to buy a new Samsung phone so they can use Justin Sun's Tron API on that phone. It's not happening. Not yet, at least. 2020, who knows? We'll see. But again, I'm calling it a social media ploy as well, because there is no need for them to be on Samsung or to be even mentioned in the article with them at the same time. So, but again, shout out to Justin Sun. Keep up with the marketing. Again, it's bringing more people to crypto, so you can't be mad with that. Alec G said the exchanges will have to buy miners to keep their liquidity stable eventually. That's a great point. That's something they should have already done. Can you imagine if Gemini, Coinbase, Binance, if all these people already had their own mining facilities to the point they're like, hey, whether we're fractional reserve banking your crypto or not, we can almost guarantee you to make this crypto back, or we can cover any losses because we're going to mine it. We've been mining, we're going to continue to mine it. So I'm with you, Alec G. I think that could be the future as well. But also from that perspective, it might be, this of all people, it might take a little bit too much more technical skills than some of the people who have exchanges have. So we'll see how that works. All right, Sergeant Crypto, we'll see you later. Keep on building. Alec G said, why not keep it open source? Well, we all know the answer to that. If it's open source, then we can't take all the money and keep it to ourselves. So we know how that goes. All right, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are not real money, says the German parliament. I just don't get it. These people flip-flop every day, but I love it. I agree, it's not real money. Can you please tell the SEC and IRS that? Looks like cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin are not real money, according to a statement published by the German federal parliament on October 28th. This is a dino of the day if I ever seen one. I should have had that roar geared up. It looks like per the announcement, the assets offered by the current cryptocurrency landscape, such as Bitcoin, of course, specifically, provide only a very limited portion of the features expected of traditional money. The statement titled, quote, crypto tokens are not real money, hilarious, end quote, is based on an answer provided by the German federal government to a question from the Free Democratic Party parliamentary group. The answer provided defines the basic features of money as the following: exchange and means of payment. Bitcoin checks that off. Store value and unit of account. Bitcoin definitely checked those off. The announcement points out that the volume of payments carried out using crypto is limited when compared to fiat currency. Again, this is the craziest argument. People this argument makes no sense, and these are the people in charge of your money nationwide. Their argument is that the volume of payments carried out using crypto is limited when compared to fiat, therefore it must not be real. That is the dumbest argument I've ever heard. That's the same as a scaling argument. Well, Bitcoin doesn't scale correctly, or it hasn't scaled, or it can't scale. No, it's technology. It takes time to scale. People learn to see all the choke points, all the pressure points, and they say, okay, If we fix this, or we fix this, or we switch this algorithm, then more people and more volume can be had. Scaling is no longer an issue. It's the same thing as this. He's saying because not enough people use Bitcoin, it must not be real, basically. That makes no sense. Not enough people know about it, therefore the volume would be low. It's not like we're saying the entire planet knows about crypto, has used it at one time and decided not to ever use it again. That's actually rare. When people learn about cryptocurrency, they usually stay in it. I mean, look at your friends, look at the people from 2017, who got bit by that Bitcoin bug. A lot of people stay in the crypto once they use it. I'm not talking about the people who just buy, $5,000-$10,000 worth, hope to make a quick flip in the next 2 or 3 days and sell it off and say, hey, I bought some Bitcoin before. No, the people who actually research the technology and utilize it stay in it usually. So when you say the volume of payments are low, it's because not enough people know about it, because it goes back to the previous article where there's no CEO, there's no marketing team, there's nobody out there to say, hey, Samsung, can you put Bitcoin, all these XYZ companies on your phone? Hey, so-and-so, can you add Bitcoin? There's no one doing that because it's not owned by anyone. So again, this is a very unintellectual argument. I mean, this is just dumb, flat out dumb for them to say that. And not only that, again, let me continue first. Stable coins are not an alternative to fiat money. I agree with that. The author of the statement also claims that the fluctuations reported by the value rendered crypto tokens unsuitable to be a store of value. I agree with that. I've actually been saying that from day one. Stable coins are a derivative in the market. I get their need, but they're also there to try to mitigate risk. They're for people who don't want to stay in the crypto. They don't want to go straight out to fiat because they want to be able to buy crypto on the instant, and the best way to do that at the time with stable coins, or as one trader did before, who I give props to. I know he started buying BNB coins and used them basically as his stable coin as they grew in value. So he wanted to keep all his money in Bitcoin when the market initially started sinking. So that was this guy was a Bitcoin millionaire too. So it was a really good trading strategy on his part. But again, this is stuff we've seen before. And, and it's crazy that they say it's not real money and doesn't have the same qualities. There's one quality that was missed that, fine, let's call it Bitcoin and cryptocurrency fake money, whatever. I'm glad, because the one quality of real money that this German federal parliament did not mention was that you can reprint real money as much as you want. Ask the United States. Didn't we just print billions of dollars overnight? You can't do that with Bitcoin, people. There's no way possible right now to go in there and say, hey, you know what? We said we're going to have 21 million Bitcoin. Let's scratch that number. Let's go ahead and have 100 million Bitcoin starting today. You can't do that. It's coded. It's an algorithm. It's numerical. Everyone around the world can see it. You cannot do that. But with money, or real money, as they say, you can go to your Federal Reserve, as we do in the United States, a private company, and have them print in excess of $200 billion to just pass out. You really don't think that liquidates the market and drives down the price of the dollar? It does. So again, I'm glad Bitcoin isn't real money, because the properties and values of what we consider real money are a scam right now. I mean, they're a farce. So I am happy to see crypto is not in that same conversation. Thai City 87 said IOTA has built a Tango ledger with some of the biggest corporations in Germany. Yeah, they have. I actually haven't heard of IOTA in a while, so I'm hoping they're hard at work and we hear something big from them soon. What's going on, Malik Howard? Excuse me. All right. Chinese cryptocurrency mining giant files for a $400 million IPO in the U.S. As we just talked about, it is a reason why there's been 4 to 6 different stories about different mining facilities. This may be the new bag to go get. It looks like Chinese cryptocurrency mining giant Canaan Creative has filed to be a publicly traded company in the United States. On October 28th, Canaan Creative filed for an initial public offering IPO with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to raise $400 million while planning to be listed on the NASDAQ under the ticker CAN. This is what the SEC wants. This is why they're indiscriminately arresting anyone who's done the ICO in the past, because they're saying, oh, you want to go get money from other people without consulting with us first? No, special investigator. The SEC wants all people, all projects, no matter if they're based in the United States or across seas in China somewhere, they want you to register with them to do your IPO. And think of it this way. If you're doing a $400 million IPO with the SEC, how much of a cut do they get? I mean, 1%, people. You can say 1%. That is a large sum of money, right? That's the game right there. So, again, Canaan reportedly filed a $200 million IPO draft request with U.S. regulators in July, but the formal F1 form was not made public until today. If successful, Canaan, which is one of 3 major Chinese crypto mining companies, alongside Bitmain, which of course is going through a whole issue of problems or whatever, where they're hiring executives and firing executives overnight. And Yebang International could become the first China-based mining firm to be publicly traded in the U.S. Again, Bitmain already filed to list an IPO with the U.S. SEC in June of 2019, following the expiration of the IPO listing application with the Hong Kong Stock Exchange in March. It looks like, according to the SEC filing, Canaan generated $394 million in revenue in 2018 with a net income of $8.3 million. Wow, that's a big disparity in the net income and the revenue, but whatever. The designer and manufacturer of Bitcoin mining machines has experienced a total comprehensive income loss of $45.8 million in 2019. Okay, that sounds better. But again, Canaan is a big mining farm. And here's the thing: whether it's Canaan and Bitmain, of course, is probably the most mature mining farm out there. No matter what, all these companies, all these mining farms still haven't even hit their maturation process, right? And what I mean by that, could you imagine if instead of Goldman Sachs, subsidiary firm buying Poloniex, if they were to actually buy a mining farm, if they were to buy Canaan or Bitmain, I think they would have been more successful doing that. You get a Goldman Sachs, a JP Morgan, or some other institution to back you, who have all the analysts, who have all the money and resources to get the best developers in there to help you out. You get them to back you on something like a mining farm where 2 + 2 = 4. All you got to do is have the tech set up, have the energy and the power going through, and mine. That's it. Whereas exchanges, you need to do marketing. You need to have support. You need to have regulatory compliance in so many different countries and regions around the world, right? It's a lot more that goes into an exchange than does a mining farm. So I think if a big institution can get behind one of these mining farms, if they do go public, and one of these big companies buys up a large percentage of them and really puts their resources behind them, I think a mining farm like this could be a great investment for a company. And again, I think this might be the future of buying the bag in the crypto space instead of going the ICO route or buying an exchange or doing the IEO. We know that was on the horizon. Everyone trying to offer up a piece of their exchange. Again, I can see companies finally coming around and saying, hey, let's just buy the whole farm. I think the reason why we haven't seen this already is because of technical expertise. Those companies I just listed, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, some of these other institutions, most by and large don't know anything about mining. If I were to walk into Bank of America right now in North Carolina and go around all the employees and headquarters and say, hey, who knows anything about mining farms here? I can pretty much guarantee no one will raise their hand, right? So these places don't even know about mining farms. This is new to them too. Like, this is even newer. They're like, wait, we just found out about exchanges. You tell me you can just go mine it yourself? So they don't know about it. They don't have the technical expertise. And even if they did, we know it's pretty tough to actually get some of the mining or the better mining rigs. You know, you talk about ASIC rigs from Bitmain and all that. They only allow one per customer, no matter if you're a company or an actual customer, because they want to monopolize those rigs. So again, it's not as much that goes into it, but it's so novel, it's so new. A lot of companies don't know about it. So we'll see what happens, but that's it's pretty cool to see. Morpheus Mine, we are live. What's up? Thai City 87 said NASDAQ just listed the XRP liquidity index under XRP LX not too long ago. I did see that as well. All right, crypto ranking website CoinGecko launches derivative section. First of all, hand clap and a shout out. I had to give this shout out to CoinGecko because in my aggressive trading days, I was actually using CoinGecko more than I was. I can't think of the other one right now off the top of my head. The other site that everyone goes to look at crypto prices and charts and graphs. I don't know why I'm having a brain freeze. Somebody throw it in the comment section for me. But I was using CoinGecko to trade because their charts at the time were amazing. You could develop, and I haven't been on it in about a year or so, so I don't know if this is the same. And I stopped going on it because they were having basically like overload and scaling issues like everyone else. You can kind of see the website was slowing down and all that stuff. But at its peak, when I was really using it in 2017, you could have your own personal profile in there. You can have all the coins you trade listed. So CoinMarketCap, that's what I'm thinking of. CoinMarketCap is the other one. Thank you, Thai City. Like CoinMarketCap, you know, it's just, they just list all the cryptos or whatever, right? With CoinGecko, the way it was, you can create a personal profile. And for me specifically, I would put maybe 20 or 30 of the cryptos I either trade or had interest in trading. And then not only that, I mean, this, so you can have three, you know, on the same page, I might have like 10 to 15 different cryptos I'm trading, 3 or 4 per line. And you can set each graph to, you know, the trading cycle you want, or the historical charts you want. So you can say, I want this graph to show me the past year of trading. I want this one to show me the last 3 months. I want this one to show me the last 24 hours. I want this one to show me the last 7 days. So you can literally go to each chart and each graph and personalize. So every time you logged on, everything is just how you saved it, just how you looked at it. And I loved it. I mean, I literally loved it, because you talk about, for my short-term trades, I had my graphs marked for the day or the 7-day charts. For my longer or medium holds, you know, I had my 3-month charts up, my 6-month charts. It was great. I had a great time on CoinGecko. Again, I stopped using it as much because it did start having these scaling problems. It was kind of freezing up. Might have been my fault too. I did have like 30 charts on one page trying to load up at the same time. But again, it's a pretty good site. Want to give them a shout out, because we always hear about Coin Market Cap, but we never hear about CoinGecko. And I believe so. I can't be positive. I think the 2 gentlemen who created the site are like in their mid-20s or something. So again, shout out to them. It was a great site. I had a great time trading using that site, and I'm glad to see that they're still launching stuff. So with all that being said, CoinGecko announced as launching its own cryptocurrency derivative section in a press release on Cointelegraph on October 29th. The data aggregator said that its new derivatives section will cover additional stats so users can track more than 100 derivative products offered by over 20 derivatives exchanges. This is the first of its kind, and this is pretty cool. One of the things we talk about as a recent last year or so has been, it's crazy. We've been on so long, I say the last year or so, but it's derivatives. You know, I just mentioned it. I can't remember what I just said a moment ago when I was like, hey, there's just another derivative in the market, or stable coins, just another derivative, people. Like, it's so many new derivatives. You're talking about the futures and all that. But to be able to track them all on one site, I think that's going to be a very big thing. I think all sites will eventually have to do it, because if they are going to go crazy with crypto derivatives everywhere, you're going to want to keep up with those in the same place as you do your regular crypto holdings. So it looks like, according to CoinGecko, this offering is the first to provide free, unimpeded access to vital aggregated crypto derivatives data, such as price, interest, funding rates, trading volume, and more, CEO of CoinGecko TM Lee said. This year, we have observed strong growth in crypto's derivative market. We are excited about the potential growth of crypto derivatives and look forward to further democratizing data access as we continue to commit to the maturation of the digital asset space. I'm glad they actually put free there. Now, we know nothing's free. You know, the information, you know, the people like me who sign up and have all my crypto charts up, I'm sure somebody's looking at that, right? But he's right. It is tough to get this information on your own in a reliable source without paying anything, right? You're talking about, we didn't have this. Think we didn't have Coin Market Cap out there, and you all had to go do all your own research on all these coins and where to find everything. I mean, Coin Market Cap now points you to Bitcoin Forum, where you can find people just commenting about it, right? So without all this, you would have to do all that legwork on your own. And some things people had to do in the past before we had all these different APIs and websites. So again, shout out to CoinGecko for doing this. You all can check out this on Cointelegraph. Let me see if I can actually pull up the site. I haven't seen CoinGecko in forever, so I'm not even sure what the website looks like any longer. But again, when I used to use it, it was a great site. So shout out to them. Let me see. Here it is. Pulling it up now. Of course, we're using Brave browser here. And yeah, you can see here, different cryptos listed. And again, let me see. Yep, you can have the sign in and sign up at the top of the page. This is what I'm talking about. You can create your own account. And again, you can save all the charts you like, how you like them. You can see the hour, 24 hour, 7-day, 24-hour circulating volume. And of course, if you click on it, there's a lot more information that goes into it as well. So look, you got the websites, the wallets, the communities, source codes, tags, great stuff. Again, I haven't been on this site in forever, but a wealth of information on here. And again, if you're serious about trading, or if you're already trading 24/7, I know everyone goes to Coin Market Cap. I would seriously consider using CoinGecko as well. I'm telling you, they do a really good job, people. All right, last but not least, pay your friends to protect your keys. One startup's new take on crypto custody. This is a pretty, what's going on, G. Graham? Hello from Shasta. This is a pretty cool article I read. It looks like if you're worried about losing your private keys, try tapping your friends as a recovery network, one startup says. Vault12, backed by Winklevoss Capital, True Ventures, Naval, Revincant, and Data Collective went live on Wednesday, offering a new passkey system for crypto holders to secure their digital assets. The app uses a cryptographic technique called Shamir secret sharing, developed by legendary Israeli cryptographer ID Shamir. Customers select a group of individuals referred to as guardians who each possesses parts of users' seed phrases, the multi-word passwords crypto wallets require for asset access. Again, a seed phrase could be my seed phrase is blue. So one person will have my, one person will have seed, one person phrase, and another person blue, right? They separate it. If app users lose access to their crypto wallets, they can combine portions of their guardian keys to recover their funds. Users can also pay guardians to either protect to protect their key portions. I don't know, they miswrote this or whatever. But it looks like Chief Crypto Officer Wassam Ahmad told CoinDesk Vault12 has no access to user seed phrases and assets, and the app is, quote, decentralized. It says all on people's individual phones and their individual devices, and it doesn't pass through any servers. The company doesn't have any ability to see any of that. From an external risk perspective, that's a big deal, which it is. Again, this is not new. There's been other people using it. You can see here, phone manufacturer HTC has a similar social key mechanism with its Exodus phone line, although you can't pay other users to hang on to it. But again, I think this is pretty cool. You see here, one user could act as a guardian for $10 per month, while another might charge higher prices but offer more exclusive services. I mean, you talk about creating a new industry in the crypto market. This is it, people. I mean, if it's something like this and you could rate people, say someone has 5 stars, 6,000 ratings, like, hey, they're going to keep that seed, safe and secure. I mean, I would pay that $10 because here's the thing. Even if they were hacked, let's say someone hacked that person, we got all these seeds. They only get one word out of everyone's seed phrase, right? So I think this is a great idea. I mean, the key here would be is if this market matures and all these high rating people, make sure you're not only putting your seed phrases with only the high ranked people, give it to your mom, give it to your grandparents or something as well, right? But I see this being great. I mean, this is a novel idea. The only thing I will worry about is, hey, what would happen to one of those guardians? I walk outside and a bus hits me. I don't know. What would happen to that seed phrase and to that phone and all that stuff? Is there any way to recover that one word, the one word you always forget that they seem to have, right? But in general, I think this is pretty cool. The launch product is aimed at individuals setting up their own networks. Again, this is the peer-to-peer in Bitcoin. You don't need exchange. You don't need that. Just use each other. This is what it's about. But Skimbitsky said the future versions would be aimed at professional user groups, including legal firms or employers. Again, I mean, you talk about a new market. They already do this with banks, people. For people working at certain banks, you basically have like a little keychain fob, and it's a number that is randomly generated and it changes like every 1 minute or 2 minutes, right? And that's the passwords to like whatever their accounts are. But again, you talk about something like this. We talked about intranets before, how everybody's trying to create their own blockchain and all that good stuff. This is perfect. You say a legal firm or employer or user groups. We already have Discords. Instead of using all the other stuff, I mean, just specifically for passwords, imagine breaking it up and having everyone at your firm, all the C-suite executives, just with one word on their phone that no one else can access but them. And together, everyone's needed to actually use the password for something. So I think this is pretty cool. I think we can see this as high as governments goes. When you talk about Treasury Department, you've seen the movies for the launch codes. You got to put the 2 keys at the same time and turn them. I mean, this is the new novel idea. We don't need the 2 keys. We need the 2 or 3 different people to all say their one word that they have to make this thing work. So cool to see. Again, I would assume this works best with people who don't know each other. So don't give all your passwords to your 3 best friends. And then one day you get kicked out the friends group and they're like, hey, let's just use passwords, right? Definitely, like I said, divvy it up. You might have the person that's high ranked. You might have the family member. You might have the friend. I mean, hell, you might have just the other person you met online that's a crypto guardian for you. And again, you could pay people for this stuff. So there is an incentive for the person on the other end to take this serious. So shout out to, who is this again? Shout out to Vault12. Great new part of the market. Can't wait to see how it matures. Other than that is the show for the day. What's going on? G Graham, Blockchain Shuja, Madam Crypto, Tessa, hello, hello. As always, have a happy hump day, and I will see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news. Until then, make sure you smash that like and share button as always. Cheers, and thanks for watching.